Hi, everybody. I'm going to do two videos today. I'm going to do one about depression. We're going to go into that in a little bit more detail. And I'm going to do one that's going to update everybody on what's going on with the new aneurysm and the Mayo Clinic. I've got some pretty exciting news, I guess is how I can put it. So let's go into the depression. And again, I just want to tell you guys, thank you so much for watching these videos. Knowing that it brings you some resolution or some help really helps me continue on to do these and brings a lot of value to my story. So I want to talk about the 5 stages of grief. Every aneurysm survivor will go through at least 2 of these. We never know which 2 they are, and some of us will go through all of them. But the 5 stages of grief, and if you lose a loved one, you go through these also. So I think it's kind of interesting that we go through the 5 stages of grief or 2 stages of grief because we're grieving what we lost when we went through that surgery. So you really are grieving a part of you that has been extinguished. So first you have denial, then you have anger and frustration, depression and withdrawal, bargaining, and the last one is acceptance. So let's go through denial. For me, when I went through denial, I thought I could have it all again and go back to work and help with my son's baseball team and lacrosse teams and run a household and still have, parties and friends and events to go to. And when I would have neurofatigue or headaches or other things that my body was trying to tell me I needed to slow down to speed up, like I said in the last video, I wasn't listening. I was denying all of those things. No, I'm good. I survived all that. I can keep going. I can do my life. Then you accept that you can't. And that can cause some of the anger and the frustration, which is the second step. Anger and frustration. Yeah, I was angry. I felt like I got cheated. I was 29 years old and I had a wonderful life. And I didn't know how to make this new life wonderful at that time. So I was extremely angry and frustrated and trying to figure out why, all of this happened to me and why it happens at all. Why do people get brain aneurysms? Why is this even existent? Kind of like, your cancers and your other diseases. Why is it even here? Anger and frustration, if you lock yourself into it and you lock yourself into the whys, like I mentioned in the previous video, it's going to turn into depression. And the depression that we go through is real and it's hard. And it hurts a lot of people. And some people that are in your lives can't handle that. So they go away and you're not as close to them anymore. And the personality changes that we go through and the way that we look at life causes some friendships to expire after we go through something like this. And it even causes, marriages to expire. It's hard for other people outside of our survivor, oh my goodness, bubble to understand what we're going through. And it's hard for us to understand what they're going through. So there can be a serious breakdown in a family tree because of something like this. So with the depression and the withdrawal for me, that was when I was stuck in the whys and I would get up in the morning and put a smile on my face and get my son to school. And then I'd go home and I'd go back to bed and I'd stay in bed until I had to pick him up from school, give him a snack, and he would go outside and play. And I would just lay there until it was time to make dinner, and I would make dinner. And I did all of those things because I felt like if I did those things, people wouldn't see the depression as much. As long as I kept up with some of the expectations my family had on me or my friends had on me, then they wouldn't see it. And I was actually speaking to one of my friends last night, and she's watched my videos, and she said, how was I one of your best friends and I didn't know you were going through all that? And she was like, I'm sad that I didn't know that. And I told her that she shouldn't be sad. I didn't share that with anybody. It's not her fault she didn't recognize it, or anybody else's fault if they don't recognize it. If you put on that face, man, we're good at putting on a face, let me tell you. But we're hurting inside. And we're hurting a lot. And sometimes when we hurt that much, it'll come out in spurts, and we'll get mean and we'll say things to people that we don't really mean. And it's out of the anger and the frustration and the depression and the, I can't live my life the way that I used to. And I don't really like the person I am right now. Then you get into the bargaining Okay. So now you're going to bargain. Well, some people bargain to God, some people bargain to the universe, whatever your big heavy is. You start bargaining like, well, if I could do this today, then, I promise I won't take it for advantage, or I promise I'll appreciate it more. Or, if I could just get back to work, then I would feel better about myself. And you start to bargain in that arena, and it doesn't really work. You are who you are after surgery, and they tell you that you're going to get, you're going to see progress in that first year. You're going to see milestones in that first year. And then after that first year, you're not really going to see any big steps anymore. You're pretty much, you are who you are. But I do have to say, it's been 10 years almost 10 years since my first set of surgeries. And I still see progress every so often. No, it's not big steps, but every so often I will see some progress. And I just kind of pat myself on the back and I keep rolling. Now, that doesn't mean, I might remember everything today and forget everything tomorrow. But for today, I had a good day. And then the last step is acceptance. So I think it was the first video I mentioned to you guys that I like to call my aneurysm bubbles. And it took me 3 years to be able to do that and laugh at that. But that was my acceptance. I was able to get into the acceptance once I was better knowing how to live the life now as to who I was than fighting what I am. The person that I was before all of these surgeries, and this happens a lot with survivors, is never going to come back 100%. She doesn't exist anymore. And some of that is unfortunate. But what I have now is so great. I have a totally different outlook on life. I want to make those memories, and I want to go on those trips, and I want to make the most of my time that I have here. And I didn't look at it like that before. Before I was like, oh, we can take that trip whenever. Oh, I can't get the time off of work, or what, all those kind of excuses for different things. And I'm so grateful that I have the life that I have now. And, once I was able to get that satisfying why question answered, which I mentioned in my last video, the acceptance was a little easier. Do I still think about brain aneurysms? Yep. Have I always in the last 10 years? Yep. Are they more face forward now because of what I'm facing? Yep. But it's okay. We go through those stages for a reason and for a purpose. And it's important that we accept those stages, not just accepting the aneurysm, but we accept those stages and we go through them and we take our time. Don't rush yourself. Please don't feel obligated that you have to continue to live a certain life because of the expectations of other people who don't understand what you're going through. Please understand that you need your time, and you need to heal, and you need to get to know yourself before you go trying to be somebody that you're not anymore. So I just wanted to do a quick one on depression. I've got some people that have reached out to me that are having some trouble with depression. I was so grateful to speak to a woman via Facebook last night, and I've spoken to her today. She's actually in the hospital now. She had a rupture a little over 10 days ago, and she's experiencing vasospasm, which is something that I experienced as well. And I'm able to share my experience with her and give her some knowledge on some things that she may want to expect. And I'm so appreciative to be able to do that. And she seems to take that information and it helps her. So, yeah, all of these videos, I didn't think they were going to blow up the way that they have, but I'm grateful that they have. And I'm glad I'm able to bring some solace to some other survivors. So again, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped you. If you have any questions about anything that I talk about, please feel free to reach out to me either on YouTube through a comment or Facebook. A lot of you have me on Facebook. So I hope you're having a great day. The weather's beautiful. Get outside if you can, if it's beautiful where you are, of course. And take care. Thanks.